Okay, welcome part 2 of graphing by translation. Third rule, f of x, negative f of x. That would be, in this case, we're still using f of x equals x squared, right? If we're still just using this function, well, what that would mean is that here we would have negative x squared. And this is going to flip the graph upside down, flip it on x. Okay, so if we were to take that table for x squared, again, the one that we began with, 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, well, if it was negative x squared instead, negative x squared, right? That's going to be, here's x squared. Well, negative x squared would be negative 4. Negative x squared, negative 1. Negative 1. Negative 4. And if we plotted these points, you can see it would flip this graph upside down. So we've looked at how f of x plus c squared moves it c units, f of x squared plus c moves it up or down c units. Now we've seen f of x equals negative x squared, flips it on x. Finally, if we have f of negative x, that's going to flip it left to right. Well, in this case, if we were to flip a parabola from left to right, it's not going to make a difference because it's symmetric about the line through the vertex. It has symmetry. So if we flip this, it's exactly the same as it was when we began. But in some cases, when you're graphing a cubic or something that's not a parabola or that doesn't have that symmetry, it's going to make a difference. So probably the biggest challenge right now is to say, what's the difference between negative x squared and negative x squared? Well, the difference is this. Here, you're not squaring the negative sign. Let's look at let's put in some values. Here, this is going to be negative x squared, negative x squared. Well, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, and then it's going to be the negative of that. Whereas here, negative 2 would be positive 2 squared be 4. See how these are different? This negative isn't involved with the being squared part of this. Here it is involved. Here again, negative 1 squared is positive 1, and then put that negative back in front of it because we're not squaring that negative. Whereas here, the negative disappears. Here, negative or positive 1 squared is 1, and then put a negative in front of it. Positive 2 squared is 4, and then put a negative in front of it. See, this negative is the last thing you put in here, whereas here, it's incorporated in the first part. All of the signs are different. So this is probably something, you probably got a whole bunch of problems wrong on tests all of your life, and here's a reason why, and you never knew that. So good luck.